right, everybody. Let me introduce you all to our keynote speaker, Veronica Alvarado, a mental health advocate and the founder of Chito Foundation, serving underprivileged Latinx youth who lack resources, discipline, and in need of guidance to meet their goals. They're helping youth take action in becoming the next generation of Latinx entrepreneurs and leaders. Everyone, please welcome Veronica Alvarado.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Stevie, Miguel, thank you so much for having me here. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm sorry, I'm kind of coming down with a little cold. Yeah, okay, bear with me. Yes, thank you all and welcome to the second annual Dare to Say Yes Youth Summit. It's an honor and a privilege for me to be here. As Stevie said, my name is Veronica Alvarado. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a mom of two. I'm the founder of the Chito Foundation, which we'll get into in a little bit. And I also serve as board chair at Amanecer Community Counseling Services here in downtown Los Angeles. And thus brings me to also be very passionate about advocating for mental health. Today, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about my journey with mental health, what it's been, and what and why I represent mental health right now in my community. So a little bit about me. Let's see. I am the oldest of three. My parents migrated here from El Salvador back in, wow, I want to say like early 70s. And I was born and raised in LA, so this is my home. I don't see myself leaving here. And thus everything that I do always originates. They always say, why LA? And I'm like, this is where my heart is. This is where I was born. This is what I do and what I live for. So to all of you Angelinos, welcome. I know we might have people that are signing in from out of state. We are excited to have you as well. But, you know, I wanted to talk a little bit about what that struggle was, right? Having come here, my parents migrating to a country that they didn't speak the language, as most of your parents might as well be in the same place. What did that look like? Mentally, emotionally, and financially? It was a struggle. I mean, at an early young age of 10 years old, we had to know what it was like to go out and work, right? With both our parents. So I think today what we talk about informing what abuse looks like, the importance of coping skills. To me, it's about telling your story. I know that we're living some very difficult times. Every generation probably says the same thing, but I really feel that we're in a different place today. When I met Stevie a couple of months ago, one of the things that we came together about was that we want to stand together and raise our voices to say that it's okay, that no matter what you're going through, you're not alone. And this is a safe place. This is a place that we are so blessed to be a part of, resources that are being lent to you. We have an amazing workshops that are being prepared for you that have been gone through so much work to get to. And we're just excited to be able to really dig into feelings. I know sometimes it's hard for us to talk about them, to bring them out. Growing up, that's not something we considered. Growing up, they didn't ask me what I thought about something. They didn't ask me what my feelings were. And that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today. What does that look like for us? So a little bit about me. Grew up in the LA area, went to Shore High School, then went to Santa Monica City College. I thought I had my life, you know, all planned out. But little did I know that being the oldest of the family and also first generation here, I learned very early on to dormant my feelings. I learned to put away and not talk about the pink elephant and the substance abuse in our family. There was a lot of alcoholism going on around me. There was a lot of emotional abuse. You know, and when I say emotional, is we don't realize how much we hurt each other with our words. And those weren't things that at that age were really discussed in my family because we didn't know how, right? Generationally, you just kind of followed the patterns that were brought to you. And it wasn't until after my divorce that I learned to articulate what my feelings were and what that was like. So growing up, I learned to be proper. I had to have the grades. I had to look perfect. I had to be perfect. I had to talk perfect because I didn't want to alter the people around me who drank to have physical emotions that would cause more pain to those around us. And even now at this age, at 48 years old, it's hard to discuss that, because growing up as a child, as a teenager, I know how scary that is. Even now, it's hard to sometimes process that, but know that there is hope. Know that you can get through this. But it's how we do that together, right? So going back to my story, I learned at a very young age to just keep moving forward and forward. I got into hospitality at a very young age. I got a mentor that took me and developed me. I went from being in hotels to going to the House of Blues, if some of you guys might still know, the one that used to be on Sunset. So I did entertainment. I was around artists, drugs, alcohol, more alcohol, lots of money. From there, I went to Univision. So I went from one extreme. I went from hotels to entertainment to then media, right? So then I have another side of it. All artists, concerts, traveling, entertaining clients, never home. And what happened to Veronica during this time, right, was I just kept putting layers and layers of protection over me of what I was feeling, just working and just being in the zone. Fast forward to 2004, I go through a horrible divorce, and physical abuse is still, kind of seen around me, not me personally, but just around me. And I'm like, nope, that's not me. That's not me. That's not anything near me. Alcohol abuse in my family, drug abuse. When I say family, it's near me, right? Not anything that I consumed, but it's almost as if I had, because the trauma was probably just as worse, or just as bad as if I was the one that was consuming the alcohol and the drugs. And it took me a while to realize that I needed help to process my feelings, to process what was going on around me, to process the fear that when somebody drank around me, when somebody was high around me, how to protect myself from that. And it wasn't until then, through my divorce, that I also realized that I had been in a relationship that was verbally abusive, and I had allowed it for all those years. And it was then that I realized that for my two boys, I was going to say enough. At that time, I said I was going to stop that. I wanted to make sure that my boys knew that there was healthier lifestyles, that whatever had happened in our generations behind us were not going to continue with us. It was a lot of talking, a lot of therapy. Hasn't been easy. Both my boys and I have suffered from anxiety, from depression, a lot of anger, a lot of resentment. But today I'm here to say that we're on a road to healing. It is a road. It's a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. But we've been blessed to have people like Amanecer Community Counseling Services, Rise Up and Act, that have resources and tools and amazing support people that help us get informed about what it looks like to cope and to get the resources and help that we need when we're in a breaking point, right? What leads us to substance abuse is that when we feel there's no way out, when we feel that that's the only thing we have. And let me tell you, there is so much better. No matter what you're going through today, no matter where you are today, it's always another day when you wake up and you realize there's more for me. There's more that I can give my family. Even though I come from a broken place, there's places and these broken pieces that define your story. Your story is just beginning. Your story matters. Your story is so important. And it might not look at it and it might not look like it at this time. I've got to tell you, but you're a work in progress. And that's what we're here to do, to talk about what that looks like. And, for me, it was an honor to be here and to speak to you, the youth, because when I went through my career, one of the things that I realized was like, yes, I'm a director, right? I'm working with all these amazing badass, can I say that, artists, and I'm in and out of backstage, and my oldest son is now a music producer and he's into that. But I gotta tell you, it's a really dark place. If you're not grounded, if you don't know who you are, going into these places where there's so much temptation around you and there's so many things that can distract you from who you want to be, if you're an artist, regardless if you're an art, music, poetry, writer, whatever that looks like. if you're not grounded in who you are, it's going to get really hard for you to accomplish what you want. And so I say to you, take this time to really tap into the resources that are given to you, to ground yourself, to be able to really define who you are. And most importantly is make sure that your healthy habits build up for better, right? It's something that it's a daily practice. And I know that there's an amazing youth panel that we're going to be discussing, a great mental health workshop that are going to be discussing some of these practices, what that looks like for you. But all I've got to say is that our goal here today, and the reason why I built the Chito Foundation, is because I see the brokenness in our youth, because I know that it's hard for you to be seen. I know that right now with the shutdown of COVID, socializing out there isn't the same. And we feel like we're not being heard or seen or even valued for what we do. And so through the Chito Foundation, our goal, and with partners like Amanecer and Rise Up and Act, is to be able to give you that platform and that space to be partnered with one-on-one mentors that can really help you develop into that next phase of your life. Juniors, seniors in high school, first years of college students, is how do we help you? Not everybody is meant for college. We're not saying don't go to college, but I didn't. And I've had an amazing career, but that was because I was blessed with mentors that took me, that saw me for my talents, for what I could do, believed in me, and not only believed in me, but walked with me all the way. So, and that's what we're here to do today, to show you and to tell you and to give you those resources that say you're not alone. We're here to help you along your journey. And we encourage you to plug in to anything that is being offered to you today. If you know of somebody that might benefit from this as well, share this link afterwards, share the resources, and spread the love. Stevie?